weigh-in, live on DAZN.
And we are live inside Madison Square Garden, where on Saturday night, the 140-pound title will be on the line when Richardson Hitchins defends his belt against the former undisputed 135-pound champion, George Ferocious Kambosos. I'm Chris Mannix. He is the former junior middleweight champion, Sergio Mora. Sergio, there was a lot of activity in this room on Thursday afternoon for the press conference. Richardson Hitchins and George Kambosos going at it. The two trainers went at it. Bill Haney was here. He was going at it. Did that get you a little bit more jazzed up for this fight?
Absolutely. I mean, we love that. We love the fact that you got a New York home fighter in Hitchins. He wants to build it out. He wants to come for his crowd. He wants his fans to come out and support him. So, yeah, I love the trash talk. I love the $50,000 he brought out of that man purse. I love the fact that he wants to sell. That's what you want to see. New York guys that have the mouth but have the skill to back it up.
The satchel.
Satchel, man purse. You have one, by the way.
Satchel. I do have one. It's one of my prized possessions. George Kambosos has spent the better part of this promotion trying to get under the skin of Richardson Hitchins. We saw more of that on Thursday, where Kambosos was talking about Hitchins not having a lot of money, Hitchins not being able to sell a lot of tickets. We saw him do this to great effect against Teofimo Lopez 4 years ago. Not so effective against Devin Haney, not effective at all against Vasily Lomachenko. What do you think that Kambosos is trying to accomplish with this trash talk?
You know, mind games, we've seen it all the time. I think the greatest at mind games was the greatest, Muhammad Ali. He wanted to get into people's skin. He wanted to use his mouth as a weapon, because that's exactly what George Kambosos, who has the resume, he's fought the big champions, he has all the belts, he's made the money, so now he still has the mouth and he still has the skill to back it up. Hitchins hasn't been on this level. He's a newly crowned champion, so he can still rile him up. He wants to rile up the young guy. He wants to goad him into a fist fight, because he knows if it's a boxing fight where he's going to use that reach, use that range, Kambosos is going to have a long night.
Nobody knows about those mind games better than Sergio Mora, who Daniel Jacobs once dubbed the most annoying opponent that he ever faced. We've got a great main event between Richardson Hitchins and George Kambosos. Also a terrific undercard, beginning with the preliminary bouts right here inside the theater at Madison Square Garden. Saturday afternoon, starting with Before the Bell, Adam Macha making his pro debut, super bantamweight, taking on Rafael Castillo. One fight up, Nishan Dev, one of the most exciting prospects in all of boxing. Young man out of India, he takes on Josue Silva, looking for his second pro win. And Pablo Valdez, the king of New York, sells a lot of tickets in this room, Sergio. He takes on Cesar Diaz in a welterweight contest. And then we have the main card. 4 fights on our main card on Saturday, beginning with Zaquin Moses, the cousin of Shakur Stevenson, undefeated super featherweight, trying to get some rounds in, trying to build up his career, his first scheduled 6-round fight against veteran Carl Rogers. Then at heavyweight, Tero Moana, the guy's so nice, they named him twice. He takes on Aleem Whitfield, top Australian fighter, Tero Moana, trying to get his pro career going. 7-0, Sergio, undefeated, 7 knockouts as a professional, but Aleem Whitfield, man, he was confident at the press conference on Thursday. And then the IBF lightweight world title eliminator Andy Cruz takes on Hironori Mashiro. The winner of this fight will get a shot at the IBF title currently held by Raymond Murataya. And then the top of the bill, Richardson Hitchins, the IBF junior welterweight champion, went down to Puerto Rico to win his title back in December. He is back here in his backyard of New York City, taking on George Kambosos Jr. The last time George Kambosos was here in New York, here at Madison Square Garden, he shocked the odds, upset the apple cart, and beat Teofimo Lopez. What chances, Sergio, do you give George of doing that again?
Look, man, anytime you do it once, you can do it a second time, even a third time, because you've been in this position before. You had the odds against you. And Teofimo was a strong fighter with a lot of momentum going his way in this very building. So you can bring all that into this fight with Hitchins that, you know, he doesn't have Teofimo's strength. He doesn't have Teofimo's experience. He doesn't have a lot of Teofimo's talents. But Hitchins has his own abilities that's going to give Kambosos a lot of issues. I think you got to break that distance. You got to get inside that jab. You do that in the early rounds, you stand success for the later rounds.
I think one of the big differences between this fight and the fight against Teofimo Lopez that George Kambosos is going to try to win a title in his second fight at 140 pounds. He is basically a career-long lightweight, moved up in weight after the loss to Lomachenko with a 135-pound title. How big a difference do you think that's going to make against a fighter that is a natural 140 in Richardson Hitchins?
It's a huge, I mean, look, if 3 pounds can be a big deal, can you imagine 5 pounds being a big deal? So going up from 135 to 140, it's going to be a huge momentum push and confidence push for Kambosos. He doesn't have to dehydrate the night before. He could be strong. He could be drinking liquid. Dehydration hurts fighters, man. No matter how good you make the weight, it saps a little confidence out of you and momentum. But when you can drink, when you can eat, when you can train, and all you got to think about is the event, selling the fight, that's the easiest part for a fighter. So you can bet Kambosos is going to be at his strongest and most confident.
We get the weigh-in coming up in just a couple of minutes. Richardson Hitchins has had his battles with the scale. 2 fights earlier, he had some trouble getting down to 140 pounds. That may have cost him in a very tough fight against Gustavo Lemos. His last fight, he made it pretty easily, and that he looked really good in the second half of the fight against Liam Parra. What are you going to be looking for with Richardson Hitchins?
What I always look for, the jab, that straight right hand.
I mean, like physically, though. Like,
well,
when you see him up there on the scale, like, he's also going to make the 10-pound rehydration clause as well. Like, how much of a factor do you think that's going to be for him?
Well, he's a tall fighter. He knows how to make that weight a lot easier because he could distribute that weight. So I don't think the weight's going to be an issue at 140 pounds, and especially as a champion. He carries himself like a champion. He wants to defend his championship. You can bet the weight is not going to be a problem like it was the other times.
All right, well, that 10 pounds, that comes fast for a guy 5'10" and 140 pounds. Well, the weigh-in coming up just moments away. The big fight on Saturday, live on DAZN, the global home of boxing.
Hey, listen up. Let's have it. We know you've always got your eye on the prize, the championship belt. And why wouldn't you? You're a finely tuned, well-oiled boxing watching machine, capable of consuming over 185 fights on DAZN every year.
We've gone big, we've gone global.
Chanting through combinations, comebacks, and non-stop knockouts.
Are you not entertained?
With big fights every week, you're the best in the world. So go on, get that belt. Champ DAZN. Undisputed.
All right, it's not New York boxing if you don't have Shannon the Cannon Briggs in the house. Let's go, champ himself. I was telling Sergio some of the history I have with you. It's like 10, 15 years ago.
We go back.
You were a world title holder. I spent a week with you going into your fight against Sultan of Bragamoff. I had a big Sports Illustrated feature ready to go. The first asthmatic heavyweight champion.
That's
it was
right.
good. And then Atlantic City, that night didn't you go your way. The press conference, you looked down at me. I was sitting in the first row, you go, sorry, man. Basically a week's worth.
You know, it was a tough fight. I had pneumonia for that fight, and unfortunately, I lost. No excuse. I lost to a good, tough guy. He can hit, boy. I can tell you, boy. He's one of the hardest punches I've been hit by.
And
George
he's bad
Foreman.
luck. He's bad luck.
Nah, he's
Come on,
good.
Shannon.
It's
Come on,
not
he's
his
bad luck.
fault.
You know, you're no stranger to the New York fight scene. What is it like for a fight at Madison Square Garden? How different is it at MSG than anywhere else?
Honestly, I fought all around the world a couple times, and it's nothing like it. I mean, I'm from here, so that may discount it a little bit, but it's an amazing crowd. You know, New Yorkers are crazy, so they're loud, they're noisy, so it's a great fight here in New York.
Yeah, Richardson Hitch is another Brooklyn guy. You've watched him come up the ranks over the years.
Yes.
What do you like about him?
I like his spunk. The fact that he's got that Brooklyn in him, you know what I'm saying? He's got that attitude, and I love that. And you need that in boxing, you know what I'm saying? Especially to become a mega superstar, you got to have that it factor. I think he has that.
I was trying to explain to Chris why a lot of New York fighters, especially Brooklyn fighters, they have the skill, but they love to promote their own fights. They have the mouth, they have the fist to back it up.
Yeah.
What is it about New York that you want to talk the talk because everyone knows you can walk the walk?
You have to. This is like, you know, put up or shut up in New York, especially Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a rough neighborhood. It's got a rough history. So, you know, everybody got a little attitude to them. So, like I say, in Brownsville, where I'm from, everybody can fight. The mothers, the aunts, the uncles, everybody.
So I know you didn't watch, we got the fight on Saturday, the weigh-in coming up in just a few moments.
Yeah.
The press conference, though, on Thursday, you watched some of that back.
Yes.
Who do you think won the press conference? A lot of back and forth between these two guys. We know that George likes to play some mind games. Did it with Teofimo Lopez, now trying to do it again. Do you think he's getting under the skin of Richardson Hitchins and his team?
Nah, he's from Brooklyn, like I said. You know, we prepared, you know what I'm saying? We all here today. I didn't see any, it's funny because I was in Jersey at home, and I seen the press conference, and they drove me to come here today, and they drove me to get tickets for the fight tomorrow. So they did a great job at selling it, and I think he'll show up. But, you know, he fighting a guy in Kambosos that is no joke. He got that style, he got that slick. He fight like a black fighter, champ, keeping it real. So it's tough. I'm serious. He's slick, champ. So he got that funky shit. Excuse my language. But with that being said, man, he's a tough fighter. So this is a tough test for Hitchins. And if this is going to let us know what he got. This is going to let us know.
The hometown curse. I always talk about when fighters bring their fights to the hometown. Normally, they don't look that good because they have too many things to impress. They go for the knockout. Right. Do you think the hometown is going to have an effect on the newly crowned champion, Hitchins?
It wouldn't matter where he fought Kambosos. Kambosos is not nothing to play with. He got experience. He's slick. He got a style. I'm telling you, he can really fight. This is a big step for Hitchins, and the whole Brooklyn coming out, the whole New York, the whole city. But this ain't no easy test. This is this might be his toughest fight by far.
New York, stand up.
From one former champ to another, getting ready to take the stage. Let's go, champ.
Let's go, champ.
With us on the dais. Let's toss it up to David Diamante to get this weigh-in started.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what an absolute pleasure it is to be here at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, New York, USA, for the official weigh-in for our big night of World Championship professional boxing taking place here tomorrow night at the Hulu Theater. And it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Bet Online, Drip, El Mexicano, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Riyadh Season, Renaissance, Victory Live, and Everlast. And of course, all the action will go out live around the world exclusively on DAZN. Ladies and gentlemen, what a fight card we have for you. 7 fights on the card. We've got 1 world title eliminator, and at the top of the bill, it's a battle. Richardson Hitchins, George Ferocious Kambosos Jr. for the 140-pound IBF World Championship. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start this weigh-in. Let's bring the fighters up to the stage so they can face the scale and face each other. Our first contest, 4 rounds in the bantamweight division. Making his way to the stage right now from the Bronx, New York, please welcome the 8-fight veteran, Rafael Castillo. And his opponent now making his way to the stage Saturday night. He'll be turning over, making his much anticipated professional debut. He fights out of Brighton, England. Please welcome the Mac, Adam Maka.
Let's go, brother.
120 even, 120 pounds for El Terrible Chovy, Rafael Castillo, 120 pounds. Now to the scale for his very first time as a professional, the Mac, Adam Maka. 119.2 for the Mac, 119.2 for Adam Maka. Adam Maka, Rafael Castillo, 4 rounds, bantamweights, Matchroom Boxing, live on DAZN from Madison Square Garden.
Well, Adam Maka, Sergio, Eddie Hearn, very excited about this young man making his pro debut here in New York City.
18 years old, a lot of career left. He has a lot of talent, man, a lot of amateur background. These can be exciting times, but this pro debut can also turn against you if you're too excited about it, looking for the knockout.
You get knocked down in the pro debut.
6 rounds in the super welterweight division. Now making his way to the stage, professional record, 3 victories against 2 defeats. He's got 1 win coming by way of knockout. Peleando desde Querétaro, Mexico. Please welcome Isaac Silva. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His young professional record thus far perfect. 1 fight, 1 victory. And that victory came by way of knockout. He fights out of Bangalore, India. Nishant Dev. Dev.
Eddie Hearn in the house.
Now to the scale, Isak Silva. 155.2 for Silva. 155.2. And now to the scale, the young Nishant Dev. 154.4 for Nishant Dev, 154.4.
Well, Nishant Dev, Sergio, Matchroom very excited about this young man as well. Former Olympian, young man from India. Matchroom trying to open up that big Indian market, trying to get a lot of new fans over in India. And this kid, I think he's got a lot of tools to be successful.
Billions of eyeballs, supporting this kid right here. And yeah, he's tall, southpaw. He has that amateur background. Really good-looking kid, man.
Isak Silva, 6-round super welterweights Matchroom boxing live on DAZN from Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, managed by Brian Peters. They're expecting Nishant to be very busy. He wins this fight. He's expected to be back on the July 19th card later this summer.
We're going to switch it up to the 130-pound division, now making his way to the stage. Professional record, 3 wins against 2 defeats. He fights out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. Please welcome the Cyclone, Carl Rogers. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, undefeated as a professional, 3-0, 2 knockouts. He fights out of Newark, New Jersey. Please welcome Zaquin Moses.
Zaquin Moses, 3-0 as a young professional, the product of Newark, New Jersey.
129.6 for the Cyclone, 129.6 for Carl Rogers. Now to the scale, the young charge from Brick City, Zaquin Moses. 129.2 for Zaba, 129.2 for Zaquin Moses.
Zaquin Moses, of course, the cousin of Shakur Stevenson. He was telling us this week, Sergio, that they were sparring in their living rooms as kids. So they go way back to the sparring days.
I don't know, something in the water over there in New Jersey, because all these guys are southpaw. Shakur Stevenson, Ray Ford, and now you have Moses here, southpaw, slick, smart, tough. Must be great.
Yeah, he's been a principal sparring partner for Shakur Stevenson in the past. He sparred with Ray Ford before Ray Ford's title-winning fight at 126 pounds. Has sparred with Terrence Crawford as well, so he's getting a lot of great learning experience early in his pro career.
Our next contest, 8 rounds in the welterweight division. We've got one side weighing in today, making his way to the stage, undefeated, 9-0, 8 of those 9 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of the LES, that's the Lower East Side of New York City. Please welcome the King of New York, Pablo Pretty Boy Valdez. 152.4 for Pablo Pretty Boy Valdez, the King of New York.
A lot of support here at MSG for Pablo Valdez. Be a lot of support tomorrow. The King of New York, undefeated, sells a lot of tickets inside Madison Square Garden. You see him weighing in alone right now ahead of this fight. I was told this morning there is a potential issue with his opponent, but Matchroom is determined to find him an opponent before Saturday to get him on the card. Pablo Valdez, of course, very popular here in New York City. That's got to be a little nerve-wracking, Sergio, to weigh in without an opponent, knowing you're probably still going to fight on Saturday, but you still don't know who you're going to fight yet 24 hours before.
Yeah, that's the way it is in the amateurs. And anytime you have an amateur pedigree, amateur experience, and you could pop. I mean, Valdez has power, so you really don't worry as much when you have that magic eraser and you have that background. But look, he's a ticket seller. He's very popular. He has a great promoter backing him. They're going to get him an opponent, and he's going to save the show.
Pablo Valdez, 42 years old, undefeated, still believes he has time to make a name for himself in boxing. His popularity is going to create some of those opportunities. He sold a bunch of tickets when he was fighting on the Edgar Berlanga card at the Caribe Royale in Central Florida. And here he is in New York with an opportunity to get some good TV time, get another win. I think it'd be, 10-0 if he wins this fight on Saturday. Does he still have time at 42, just 3 years younger than you washed up old man? Does he have time to do it?
Yes, because he has something I didn't have for my career, power. So he has two things you can't teach, Chris Mannix, charisma and power. This man walks around the building like he's somebody with the diamonds flashing. He carries the press conference. He has the power. He has that unblemished record. So, yes, even at that stage of his career, not saying he can win a championship, but he can fight on undercards, pack houses, become a popular ticket seller, and maybe fight for a regional title.
Hey, look, he's a friend of Edgar Berlanga, and he's also got some of the flair of Edgar Berlanga as well. All right, let's continue with the weigh-in. Throw it back up to David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest brought to you by Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing in association with DAZN Fighters. Introducing first, making his way to the stage, undefeated as a professional, 9-0 with 6 knockouts, originally from Geneva, New York, and now living, training, and fighting out of Rochester. Please welcome Aleem Hammer Whitfield. Whitfield.
He is. That's right.
And his opponent now making his way to the stage, also undefeated, 7 fights, 7 victories, all 7 victories coming by way of knockout, fighting out of Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, and proudly representing his Cook Island heritage. Please welcome Tara Moana. Tara Moana. Tara Moana. Now the scale. From Rochester, New York, Hammer, Aleem Whitfield. 246.2 for Aleem Hammer Whitfield. And now the scale, Tara Moana, Tara Moana. 265.6 for Tara Moana.
The best thing I can say about this fight, Sergio, is don't blink. 2 heavyweights, both with power, both undefeated. I don't see this fight going more than a couple of rounds.
No way. I mean, someone's all got to go. This is too much power for it to go more than 2 or 3 rounds. Tara Moana, wicked jab, big, long jab, powerful right hand. And, of course, you have Whitfield, undefeated, carries himself like a champion, can move his upper body, but just too much power for it to go the distance. This is going to be explosive.
Aleem Whitfield took this fight on short notice, but he expressed a lot of confidence at the press conference on Thursday. Brought up the fact that he fought a lot in the amateurs, has experience fighting Sean Porter back in the amateur ranks as well. I think this is going to be an exciting fight for as long as it lasts.
Tara Moana, make way, make way.
Please, God, stop.
Cartoon, Moana, come on.
I'm aware, yes.
Let's go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next contest is brought to you by Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing in association with Taken Promotions. As we go 12 rounds for the IBF Lightweight World Title Eliminator. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 17 victories, 1 defeat, 1 draw, with 6 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Matsue, Japan. Here is the reigning Japanese lightweight champion, Hironori Mishiro. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His young professional record, perfect. 5 fights, 5 victories, with 2 of them coming by way of knockout. Here is the 2020 Olympic gold medalist and the reigning and undefeated IBF International and WBA Continental Latin America's lightweight champion. Damas y caballeros, presentando el orgullo de Alacranes, Matanzas, Cuba, el diamante, Andy Cruz. Now the scale, Hironori Mishiro. .134.6 for Mishiro. 134.6. And now to the scale, Andy El Diamante Cruz. 135 pounds, bang on the lightweight limit for Andy El Diamante Cruz, 135.
Well, very interesting fight here, Sergio, in the 135-pound division. A title eliminator. The winner will be next in line for the belt held by Raymond Murataya. We know how good Andy Cruz is. Former Olympic gold medalist, has had a perfect record as a pro. The question is, how good is his opponent? How good is Hironori Mishiro?
Well, I can vouch for his toughness. I can vouch for the fact that he has this sweat bottom where he wants to go forward. He has good head movement, hard to hit, pretty decent punch. Determined is how I would describe him. Determined, and I think it's going to be exciting as long as it lasts.
In association with Taken Promotions, live on DAZN from Madison Square Garden.
You know, we asked Mishiro during the fight week, when do you know you were good at boxing? He said, I don't know if I am.
Yeah.
Like, how good do you think you are? I don't think I'm very good. So he's either playing rope-a-dope with us as commentators, which would be possible, or maybe he's just not very good.
I love the honesty. I love the self-deprecation. He said it with a smile on his face. We know he's tough. All these Japanese fighters are tough. I think he's ready for the moment, playing possum.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome everybody here to the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, New York, USA, for the official weigh-in for our big night of World Championship Professional Boxing, taking place at the Hulu Theater tomorrow night. And it's now time to weigh in the main event of the evening. As Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, in association with Lou DiBella of DiBella Entertainment and Ferocious Promotions, are proud to present 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Junior Welterweight Championship of the World. Now making his way to the stage, please welcome the challenger. His professional record, 22 victories, 3 defeats, with 10 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. Here is the former IBF, WBO, WBA, Ferocious Kambosos Jr. Kambosos Jr. And now making his way to the stage, please welcome the defending world champion. His professional record, absolutely perfect. 19 fights, 19 victories, with 7 of them coming by way of knockout. He fights in the beautiful borough of Brooklyn, New York, USA. Here is the 2016 Olympian and the reigning, defending, undefeated IBF Junior welterweight champion of the world, Richardson Hitchins. Hitchins. Now to the scale, George Ferocious Kambosos Jr.
Easy work. Easy work. The fight here right, baby. Easy work.
139.4 for George Kambosos, 139.4 for George Ferocious Kambosos Jr. And now to the scale, the undefeated world champion, Richardson Hitchins. 140 pounds, bang on, the junior welterweight limit, exactly 140 pounds for Richardson Hitchins.
Hitchins, just your fan. Just like that. George Kambosos Jr., 12 rounds for the IBF Junior Welterweight Championship of the World. Matchroom Boxing in association with DAZN Entertainment and Ferocious Promotions, live on DAZN from Madison Square Garden.
George, you're a man that can walk the walk and talk the talk and can promote a fight. How good does it feel to not make that 135, those extra 5 pounds? How good does it feel?
Look how skinny, look how dry he is. Stinky breath over there. We're here, we ripped, we're ready. 140, this is my division, this is my city, and we're coming to take that belt off him tomorrow.
You say it's your city, you're undefeated here. The Mecca, New York City, somehow you have the luck. What is it about this venue that brings the magic out of you?
This is the most iconic venue in the world. New York, like I said, is my city. I'm here to win this fight, victory by any means.
He's taller, he's younger, and he has a longer reach. How are you going to penetrate that reach, and do you think you can win a decision here?
I'm a better fighter. I'm a dog in that ring. And you know what? He can have all that. I'm prettier. You'll see.
We'll see.
Well, Richardson, a lot of talk the last couple of days between you two guys. What was your final message there to George Kambosos?
I just told him we ain't got to do all that in here. It's time to compete now. The fight is here. You know, we true professionals, so we don't got to go back and forth. His dad don't got to hit my trainer or, you know, do all this extra stuff. We promoted the fight. We got a great event. The fans is ready. I'm ready. And it's time to go.
4 years ago, George walked into the theater and upset the odds and beat Teofimo Lopez. What do you have to do to make sure that doesn't happen again?
Like I've been telling the world before, I'm a better boxer than the guys that he's been in the ring with. Tomorrow night, he'll see. If he don't believe it, he'll see that I'm on a whole different level. We know tomorrow he's looking to come, make it rugged, land the overhand right, and make it a difficult fight. But I belong here. I told the world this a few years ago. All I needed was for me to catch up to the big events, the magnitude of the situations, get comfortable, and I'll settle in. Now I'm world champion. I feel settled in. I've been here before. I can say that. And tomorrow night it's time to have fun.
You are considered to be the better boxer, but you've been saying all week long, you promised a knockout. You said you're going to knock this guy out. Why are you confident that you can stop him?
He makes a lot of mistakes, and I'm pretty sure he's going to come aggressive tomorrow. And I think that him coming aggressive and having to force him to come back to my fight, I'm going to pick him apart easy. I'm going to run up the scoreboard. So tomorrow night, I'm looking for it to be easy work, and we're going to hopefully that I get this motherfucker out of here, because he do got a strong-ass head.
Good luck, Richardson.
All right, thank you. See you tomorrow.
Eddie Hearn, I think these last couple of days have gone pretty well for you. I think that you've gotten the spice and the build-up that you've been looking for. What did you think of that last face-off right there?
Perfect. You know, we had a conversation with the commission last night who said, can we please just make sure that we remember the code of the sport? But you've got two world-class operators fired up for the fight of their life tomorrow night. For Richardson Hitchins, the opportunity to state his claim as American superstar of boxing and to put himself on those levels of Devin and Tank and Shakur. And you've got George Kambosos trying to make history to become a two-division world champion, probably Australian boxing's greatest ever accomplishment, in the same venue where he dethroned Teofimo Lopez. So Richardson has the opportunity tomorrow to really make a statement to the world back home, but he's up against a rugged dog in Kambosos, and he's fired up. Both teams are fired up. You're going to get an incredible night tomorrow night live on DAZN, and you're going to get a really, really high-level fight, beautiful crossroads fight between two world-class fighters.
You were the promoter of the fight with Kambosos and Teofimo. Have you stressed to your fighter, Richardson Hitchins, not to underestimate this man?
Yeah, I don't think he does. I mean, you know, it's like history repeating himself this week. Kambosos is getting into the team. I think Richie's cool. I think he's nice and chilled, but you know, the training team, everybody else yesterday is fiery. There's a lot of emotion out there. And that's what I think George wants. George wants Richie to stand and fight. And Richie's probably under a little bit of pressure to entertain and to make that statement. That's dangerous in itself. You know, George is not a top 15 guy. He's a former undisputed world champion who's a very good fighter, and he's a very determined, smart guy. He will want Richie to come fight, and I think Richie will come fight tomorrow night. He's got an opportunity to look good, but he's also got the possibility of defeat. So tomorrow night, you know, I know that Richie's the favourite. This is a tough challenge for him, but a challenge that could see him really establish himself as a world-class name within the sport.
Everybody throwing 50 grand around this week, Eddie. You putting 50 grand on anything?
Listen, I don't need to. I'm the luckiest man in the world. I'm sitting front row watching a brilliant night of boxing, top to bottom, incredible prospects. Andy Cruz just got to win that fight to get his shot at the IBF World Lightweight title and a brilliant World Championship main event. There's nothing like big-time boxing at Madison Square Garden. Tune in. You'll see a great night.
Can I have 50 grand?
You've got more than that.
I don't think so. Saturday night.
Work in every sport possible.
That's probably true. Saturday night, live at the theater, Madison Square Garden on DAZN. 140-pound title on the Rhine. Richardson Hitchins against George Kambosos, a fight that you do not want to miss.
Richardson Hitchins, I think, is one of the best in the world, if not the best 140.
The homecoming. This is what I've always dreamed of.
Man, I'm a warrior. I fought the best of the best. And you say Hitchins is your best boy? Well, let him fight toe-to-toe with me. Let's go.
Ferocious is back.
Ain't no way Kambosos taking anything away from me. I'm not playing with you.
I'm a hero in his city for what I achieved.
It's your city, yeah, they all know you.
He been talking a whole lot of shit. Don't they gonna know me after I do to you?
What's that?
I'm gonna make him pay for that.
Knock at Kambosos. Go.
Hitchins is not in my level.
I'm a beat. I ain't got to lose, brother. Okay, this guy.
I'm elite. He's a D-class fighter.
He's never been in the ring with anyone like George Kambosos Jr.
He can't touch me.
I'm gonna him up in his own backyard.
Every time he fights, he get out the ring uglier than he already came in.
You're going to realize I'm a different animal.
Team Hitchins.
And the new two-weight world champion.
And still, baby.
Latinos, somos creadores de momentos, momentos compartidos. Somos tan auténticos como los sabores que nos han unido por generaciones. Somos tradición, como la marca El Mexicano, que ofrece una gran variedad de productos de calidad y frescura, con sabor auténtico, para unirnos y vivir momentos de alegría. Somos familia, porque no hay nada más importante. Somos El Mexicano.